times 7 is what?
41.33.
He didn't do it like
What?
41.23.
No, he did. Look, he-
41.23.
Yes.
And then you add.
Add them together.
14.635.
You were.
14.635.
Now, divide that by 1080.
You could take the average.
That's
what I'm
saying.
Multiply
No,
by
it's
19.
13.45.
No,
Okay, divide it by 1080. Get rid of the whole, put the whole numbers aside, and only look at the remainder. What's my remainder?
0.5529.
That's not your remainder, that's a fraction. What's your remainder?
595.
595.
595.
So keep the 595, okay? Now, what was my whole number? Was 13, right?
Put it on top of that 90.
Leave the 13, we're going to add it soon. But just keep the 13 on the side for a minute, okay? 8 times 12 is 96, right?
Yeah.
589 times 7 is, I'm sorry, 21 times 7.
147.
What?
147.
147. And 147, 96, and your 13,
256.
256. Okay, divide that by 24.
10.6.
10 and 16
With 12.
hours.
Right,
Yeah.
6, so
So
that's,
you have
my
16.
remainder is 16.
Keep the 10.
My 10. Keep the 10. I need the 10. Okay? 4 times 12 is what?
48.
48. 5 times 7 is what?
35.
35. Good? You with me?
Yeah.
Add it up.
96.
How much is 96 plus 147?
93.
And 13. I have to get the 13.
43, we have to add the 13.
I have to add the
from
13.
last column.
Oh, okay.
I have to add the 13 because that's 13 for like when we added the 1, now we're adding 13. Okay.
93.
93. Okay, get rid of 7s. Divide it by 7. 93 divided by 7.
91 remained the 2.
Yeah. 13 remainder 2. No.
91.
13 remainder 2. I only care now about the remainders. The 7s go, right? We throw out 7s. We're throwing out 7s?
Yes.
So you need 2. You have 2.
So, the Yitaron for a 19-year cycle is what we call 216, 595, or Bev Taksa.
What? See, that's what you told me.
Albert, you're the Vav. Oh, you don't do Tidvav? You don't get the Tidvav?
Tetzayin?
Ted-
We don't say Tetzayin. Nobody says Tetzayin. That's
What about for Tet
No
Vav?
matter what, you do better than that.
Bev Taksa. There's Is there somebody here who doesn't understand how I got to that number?
Nobody raised their hand.
What's the color? Eve Takta.
595.
Rabbi, is that going to work?
All I did this time is instead of, guys, all I did is simple arithmetic. Instead of adding, I just multiplied. I could have added this on itself 12 times, this on itself 7 times, and keep throwing out the ones, and then I just would have spent a long time doing it, and then, so I could have done that, but to save you guys time.
Could you
Now,
just have done Eve Tashsak times 19?
That's actually.
no,
No.
it's Eve, you want, do it. Now, who has a calendar?
I'm asking-
How many months, guys, how many months is in a 19-year cycle?
Oh, this Agway times, it's how many leap years?
144.
7.
plus
So
91.
yeah, so 7.
That's right. 144 for 12 times 12,
235.
and 7 and 13 leap years 91.
235.
Alright, 7 is the leap year.
235.
Wow, that would be much easier.
Fine.
Now, try it this way. Somebody multiply Eve Tashsak times 235, you'll get the same number.
Oh, we have to do 235.
Multiply, because instead of, I
You have to do
did,
the month.
guys, I did
235.
12 regular years
7 leap years.
and 7 leap years. If you want to do 235 months, that'll work out also.
This works out, Rabbi. This works out no matter if the years no better than that. 19 years.
You got a beef
Yeah, but he
Takta.
does it. Now, when I ask him now,
You got,
he multiplies that.
216,
Like,
595.
if I need now 100 cycles, or 300 cycles, he'll just, he throws out my sheets and says, I'll do it with Eve touch cycle all the time. Okay.
Rabbi,
What do you call the 19-year cycle?
All right. Guys,
Yeah, you got it.
Rabbi, what do you call the 19-year cycle?
Now that we did all the work.
something.
What do you call it?
Ig something.
Okay, now that you did the work,
Wow, what's this 19?
I'm giving you something that you don't need to do any work for.
Ig.
But you need to do some work.
No. The name of the cycle.
This is based on Shirei David. This is a chart that the Shirei David made, and the Meir just put it for you in a little bit nicer script. That's all. But this is the Shirei David's chart. All right, I don't have enough. I only made. All right, so share. Yeah, you'll share and you'll share, and just the two of you get yours. Okay. All right. So you have a chart now. Based on that chart, you really don't need that chart. Right now, you guys know how to figure any molad at all that you need to figure out. You know how to do it. But this chart's going to make it much easier. Let me explain the chart to you, and then we're going to learn to use it. I'm going to teach you how to use this chart, and then I'm going to teach you some extra checks on your work. In here, in this chart, you have 4 columns, correct? 4 columns? Mm-hmm. The first column is your homework. The first column was what you had to write for homework. That was a 13-month schedule of Yiteronot. Right? Now you could just check all your... It worked, right? Okay. Now, your first column was your homework. Your 13 months. The next column is the year-to-year Yitronot within a 19-year cycle. Counting leap years. So, now, guys, the first one is 1 year. The second one is 2 regular years. The third one is 2 regular years and 1 leap year. Because remember, how do I know? Let's go back to this for a minute. How do I know in a 19-year cycle when the leap years are? Guah Adzat, which is a pretty simple thing, guys. This one, I subbed in Magen David 4th grade. And they all knew this. Guah Adzat. Okay? Yeah. 3, 6, 8, 11, 14, 17, 19. These are the years in a 19-year cycle where a leap year is inserted. In about 2 months from now, we're going to figure out why exactly it had to be these and no other 7 years. But right now, we don't need to know that. Right now, we need to just know that this is it. So now, if ever I wanted to know, is this year a leap year, what do?
You divide by 19?
So I take my year, we're in 5773, I divide by 19.
Wait, how can we count 773? The first year is year 1, which means it's the second year, right? So it should be...
But we need...
No, that's to figure out. This year, I want to know what year this is in the cycle. So how much cycles is that?
303.
303. Remainder.
Well, 1 second.
I don't care about the amount of cycles right now.
Remainder.
16.
16. So is this year a leap year?
No.
No.
Next year.
Next year will be a leap year. If the remainder was 0, then it would be 19. It would be a leap year. Okay? So that's how. Now, so in this chart, in the leap years, it adds a month on it for you. So if we go back to your chart, the second column is the 19-year cycle. So if I want to go 1 year, 1 regular year, I do that. If I want to go 2 regular years, I add 1 17 tar'am. Now, I'll never want to add 3 regular years because it won't happen. So in the 3rd year, I add 2 regular years and a leap year. The 4th year, all these are the Yitronot. That's that second column. Now, so this column will not help you if you want to add 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. It will help you if you know the year of the cycle.
Why would you ever want to add 3 years?
Okay.
Homework.
No, you never would.
You never would, but you may want to add. You're right, you never would. But again, here from 6 to 7, 6 to 8, it only doesn't even give you 2 years. Right?
Yeah,
We'll see why you need this, but just it. The third column is every ma'zor until 10 ma'zorim.
Is this
That's
any beef
190
So
years.
Mahzor is 19 years.
Yeah.
10.
The fourth column.
Why up to 10?
He just no
Wait,
reason.
what does the third mean?
What?
The third column?
The third column is just one. Number 1 is a 19-year ma'zor, and number 2 is 2 19-year ma'zorim until 10 19-year ma'zorim, and the fourth column is really an extension of the third, and it just says, but you'll see why he does it. It's 10 up till 400 ma'zorim. Why does he only go 400 ma'zorim? Because that, according to our tradition, will. By the year 6000, we will be in Messianic era, so
we don't
therefore
need
there is no more reason to go there.
So we don't need even 7600.
So,
300.
now, how do I use this? Very simple. I pick a year. I'm going to pick a year right now. And we're all going to figure out the molad together. I want to know the molad for Tishrei 50 Tafresh. So that's 5,600.
Oh, 5,600.
How do I get that molad? Watch what I'm going to do, guys.
First start together.
So,
So you divide 56 by
Divide it.
So the first thing I need to do is to find how many 19-year cycles have passed. So I divide 5,600 into 19. What do I get?
294.
294.
What you do until 190?
Okay? Is there a remainder?
14.
Yeah?
14, yeah.
14.
And it's a leap year.
Okay, leave that. I don't really care now that it's a leap year. Watch. How do I know, guys? So let's put this number aside now. 294 remainder 14. I want to know the molad of Tishri. Now, because I'm doing Tishri, I don't have to worry about months. Oh, wait a second. I did 5,600. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Before you start this, you have to subtract 1 from the year. So I don't want, because it's Tishri. It's the beginning of the year. So instead of dividing 5,600 into 19, I'm sorry, that was my mistake. I should have divided what?
55.99.
55.99 into 19.
Remainder 13.
So what is it? It's the same side. What is it? 2
Remainder
294,
13.
Remainder 13.
remainder 13.
Why did you choose?
Because I want the molad of Tishri. The year didn't pass yet. Nothing. In other words, I'm starting the beginning of the year.
If you're doing Hashvan, that would be 5,600.
No, it would be 55,599, 294.13, but I add a month at the end. I get the amount of months into the year. I don't. The only time I would do 5,600 is for Tishri 5601. I always subtract 1. I always subtract 1 because the year didn't happen. If I wanted Hashvan, I would do this and then just add a month. Now, if I want to do the molad, the first thing I do, what's the first thing I do? Butter. So I take 2, 5, right? 204. Now, guys,